Narcissists and financial abuse. So this is a video to talk a little bit more about how narcissists use money to control, manipulate, and devalue their partners in relationship. So research shows that narcissists are more likely to make more money. Because of the nature of the narcissist, they are very ambitious about money and getting into positions of leadership and getting a high paycheck. So research just shows that narcissists make more money, and it's kind of obvious why. So when they're now holding this position where they have more money in the relationship, they then use that status of making the money to basically shirk their responsibility in all other areas of life. For example, the emotional necessities in relationships, household responsibilities, the responsibilities of parenting, caretaking, and connection. So often the narcissist who lacks empathy will put all of that onto their partner, right? They will do the emotional labor in the relationship, and they might even encourage their partner to cut back on the work they're doing, the money they're earning, because they're making so much money, right? But over time, what the narcissist starts to do is they start to use the difference, the money disparity, the amount that they earn in comparison to their partner. They start to use that as a tool of shaming and devaluing the partner. So they will openly bully, undermine, devalue the partner who doesn't make money and make fun of the fact that they don't make money. And they'll make fun of the fact that that partner, what they do in the house, be that all the emotional labor, they frame that as being meaningless in the face of what they do, which is bring in finance. So the narcissist then uses the fact that they make money to avoid the fact that they are incapable of showing up emotionally, and they are emotionally unwell. And they actually undermine the partner who does the emotional labor in the relationship. They'll make it be like, well, what's that? That's pathetic. That's nothing in comparison to what I do, which is just basically bring in money, right? And although money is very important for us to live, narcissists will always fall back on that. If a person comes to the narc and is like, listen, I'm going to need emotional fulfillment and support here, like human empathetic connection and understanding, the narc will fall back on the fact that they make the money. And they will use that to control. So say it's not necessarily a romantic partnership or intimate marriage or relationship with a narc. Like for me growing up, my parent who made the money, who was the narcissist, if I had anything to say to him about the emotional devaluation that was happening to me, he would withhold finances. So I became afraid of like not being able to pay for my education. So he would manipulate the finances if I had anything to say about the devaluation I was experiencing. So the narcissist tends to make lots of money, and they use that as their power to devalue whatever it may be, their children, their partner in life, to control the partner, they use it for coercion, because money is power, right? It's their power. So yeah, they don't actually, it's normal in a lot of relationships that one person will make more money than the other person. But it's abnormal for the person who makes the money to then undermine the person who doesn't make the money and make it look like their emotional labor in the house, their how they nurture and take care of children in the home is pathetic in comparison to what they do, which is just make money. So yeah, these are the ways that I've witnessed and experienced narcissistic devaluation. So remember that cycle I showed us, the narcissistic abuse cycle? So it happens in many ways, the way the narcissist will devalue, but money is a primary way in which they do this. Yeah, and if you find yourself in this situation, because over time, a person ends up kind of going, well, this person's making so much money, I'm the caretaker at home, I'm going to let go of doing the work that I do and, do this full-time job of caretaking. And, over time it becomes so abusive that it's sometimes hard to get back into the game of making money for oneself again and becoming financially stable again, to leave the narcissist or to find a way away from the narcissist. And I've done it before in my life. So make the plans, start kind of getting back on your feet. This is what I suggest if you're in this scenario. Make plans, start building something for yourself, regardless of whether the narcissist is like, no, you don't have to do anything. No, you shouldn't make any money. They want you to not make money. They want you to be on the back foot, do all the emotional labor in the house so that they can come home and devalue you for the labor that you do. And then they never show up emotionally either. Because, here's all this money I make, so I'll just keep buying stuff and pretend that that's some kind of love and honest connection and emotional reality and authenticity, when it isn't. They just provide things, material things, while undermining the person who does the emotional supporting in the relationship and for the family. So yeah, if you find yourself in this situation, I'm sorry. It's hard. But there is a way out of it. There is a way out of it. And I know how horrible that devaluing is, with the narcissist, and it's often not, it can be really big devaluing, like hitting somebody in the face, or like, but usually it's this snipiness that's ongoing in the home, and eventually the partner who's doing the emotional labor, who has no boundaries. So let's just be honest here. So it's a willing victim. A codependent is a willing victim, right? Because they have been conditioned by a narcissistic parent to have no boundaries and actually take this level of abuse. They're used to this. This is what they thought. This is what they've been conditioned to think intimacy is. They think intimacy is this process of devaluation, snipiness, bullying, and undermining, right? That's what they've been conditioned to believe in their bodies. So they've now chosen spouses that do this to them, right? And over time, the devaluation is so demoralizing that the codependent, the willing victim, but a victim nonetheless, will eventually snap. So the codependent often gets to a point after all the devaluation and gaslighting and the snipiness and the emotional unavailability and all of it, the codependent will snap and become aggressive, right? And that's when the narcissist likes to turn around and go, oh, look at you. Look at what you're doing to me now. I'm the victim. I'm the victim here. Look at how you're behaving. Because the codependent is now like having a full tizzy after months of devaluation. It's like a Guantanamo Bay experience. It's like a domestic torture. So the codependent snaps, and the narcissist loves to use that to make themselves look like the victim. Oh, they're so aggressive. Oh, you're so aggressive. Oh, look at you. Look at your behavior. You're not making any sense. How can you do this? And then they start to shame the codependent for having a big emotional display after so much compounding of the devaluation. And that's when the narc will then withhold or discard or withhold love or stonewall, right? And the codependent in their confusion, because they haven't understood that they've gone through a process of devaluation with the narcissist. The codependent might come back and be like, I'm so sorry, I reacted that way. They don't like being stonewalled. They need connection. That's the problem with the codependent. They need connection, and they tend to choose it from people that are narcissistic, right? Or they've chosen the spouse or partner in life. So they might go back and be like, I'm so sorry about what I did. And the narcissist will be like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Let me help you through your problem. You've got a problem with this, snapping like this. It's okay. Like, I've been victimized, but I'm going to be the bigger person here. And we'll find a way through it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And the codependent's like, thank you. Thank you for forgiving me. And then they walk away like so confused, but like, wait a second, because they're so used to being devalued that they don't even know they're in a continuous cycle of devaluation. So after that snapping, the narc will then, play the victim and then maybe give them a bit of attention. Oh, I got you. Let me take you out for dinner, honey. Let me do something nice for you. Let me just feign that I have emotions or empathy for you. If a narcissist or person who does this shows any emotion, they might even tear up. It's not actually felt. It's just a display, like a sociopathy. They're just putting it on. And then the codependent feels like, oh, finally they're getting the connection that they've longed for. Just a normal, healthy, emotional connection, some care and kindness from their partner. But they've had to be broken down, snapped, fallen into a pit, felt like they were the bad person, turned to the narcissist to apologize, for the narc to go, okay, let me be nice to you for a little bit. I've got some time for you now. I'll show you some attention. Just pick you up a little bit, get you back on your feet, and then I'll turn around and I'll start feeding off you again with my devaluation process. Yeah. I only speak so clearly about this process because I went through it for years, in my upbringing, in my home, and in my first marriage. So I know this process very well. And I know what it's like to be totally confused inside it. And if this rings true for you in any way, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, and you don't deserve to be treated like this. And what I want to say is, no, they won't change. They might tell you that they'll change. They might say all the words. When you come around and you snap and you break and you eventually like, hey, listen, I'm going to need this. The narcissist knows very well how to tell you with mouth words that they're doing the thing that you need them to do. They're becoming healthy and responsible and emotionally accountable in the ways that you need them to be. But they just do that with their mouth, and they never show up in action. And it is kind of, research has shown, you can look this up, it is impossible to cure a narcissist. So I stuck around for years thinking, surely I'm going to get through to this person. Surely this is going to move. I'm going to move this. It's going to change. And it will not change. It won't change. The person is unable to be cured. They do not feel empathy. They are totally entitled. It's all about them, and they will keep devaluing you over and over and over again. So your option is stay in that nightmare or get help. There's Codependence Anonymous groups, there's therapy, there's many ways and help groups to start getting yourself on your feet and to start seeing clearly what's happening with you, start making plans, start making the exit plan. Those are the options, in my opinion. Sending love.